Okay. So we are going to into the last part. Two more things that I have to teach you from this part, and one is if not and unless. How do you use if not instead of unless, and how you use if not instead of unless. Okay. Imagine that Maji's mother told her, "You will feel awful if you don't finish your history lesson." She could also say the same sentence in this way. Okay. You will feel awful unless you finish your history lesson. Got it? Huh? You will feel awful if you don't finish your history lesson. She could also say the same sentence in this way also. You will feel awful unless you finish your history lesson. Unless means if not. Okay, it means the same. Okay, it means the same. Notice that these two sentences, sorry, unless and if not sentences with unless or if not are negative conditional sentences. Unless means if not, sentences with unless or if not are negative conditional sentences. What is a negative sentence? Can anyone tell me what a negative sentence is? Huh? Can anyone tell me what a negative sentence is? No one. No one knows what a negative sentence is. Huh? No, not saying negative. Yes, don't, won't, not. Okay, everything that comes, negatives, negative words used in a sentence is called a negative sentence. Okay, conditional negative sentences are these things. Unless and if not, എന്ന് പറയുന്നതൊക്കെ വരികയാണെങ്കിൽ, these are called conditional negative sentences, negative conditional sentences. Here also, everyone, everywhere it has gone. Okay, don't worry, it will come. Notice that these sentences have two parts. Condition. There will be a condition. Okay. If something happens, then only the other thing can happen. അങ്ങനെയാണ് അതിനാണ് conditional sentences എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. Notice this, that these sentences have two parts. The part that begins with if not or unless tells us the condition. Okay, this part has a verb in the present tense. Look at the verbs don't finish, finish in the sentences above. The other part of the sentence tells us about a possible result. There is already a condition and there will be a result for that condition. It tells us what will happen. So in the condition, the verb will be in present, and in the result, the verb will be in the future tense. Okay. It tells us what will happen if something else doesn't happen. The verb in this part of the sentence is in the future tense. You will feel, you will, okay, you will feel. So, the same way, notice these two sentences again in the following examples. There won't be any books left unless we preserve them. Okay. So, if we don't preserve these books, there won't be any books left. Okay. Unless we preserve them. You won't learn your lesson if you don't study regularly. You won't be able to learn your lessons properly if you don't study regularly. Tommy will have an accident unless he drives more slowly. Okay. So these are called negative conditional sentences. So you have what you have to do is you have to complete the following sentences, use the correct form of the verb over there. If I don't go to Anu's party tonight, what will come over there? She will get annoyed. Ah, yeah, she will be angry, right? Huh? She will be angry if I don't go to Anu's party tonight. She will be angry with me, or she will get annoyed. Okay. Yes. She'll be sad. Very good. Hmm? Sometimes, if you are good friends, and good friends, if they don't attend the party, friends get angry or sad, right? That's it. Then, if you don't telephone the hotel to order food, You will go hungry. Yes, you will go hungry. If you don't telephone the hotel to order food, you will go hungry. Yes. Okay. Unless you promise to write back. Unless you promise to write back. Unless you promise to write back, I will not talk to you. That is also correct, right? I shall keep requesting, yeah? Unless you promise to write back, I shall keep requesting you. Okay, that is also good. If she doesn't play any games, she won't be healthy. She will be fat. She, she or he. Okay. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, right? If she doesn't play any games, she will become unhealthy. Unless that little bird flies away quickly, the cat lazy and dull. Yes, Manju. Very good. Unless that little bird flies away quickly, the cat will catch it, will pounce on it, will kill it. Okay. Will catch it, will eat it. Okay. Or else will kiss it. Anything. Anything can happen. Okay. If the cat is vegetarian, you can't say. Okay. If the cat will catch it or eat it. It will just go and say hi. If the cat is a vegetarian, right? Huh? Unless the little bird flies away quickly, the cat will go and who's switching on their phone microphone? I Hey, don't switch on the microphones. I'll just check and I'll find it out. Okay, who's that? Yeah, we'll play with it. Yeah, right. Yeah, all right. Because the cat is a vegetarian. The cat doesn't like non-vegetarian food. The cat will obviously play with it. Right? So that is it regarding the conditional sentences. Okay. Now the next one. Read it. A new revised volume of Isaac Asimov's short stories has just been released. Order one set. Write a letter to the publisher, Mindframe Private Limited, 1632, Asaf Ali Road, New Delhi, requesting that a set be sent to you by value payable post, VPP. Nowadays, COD, cash on delivery. Okay, that is VPP. In the old days, it was called value payable post. And giving your address. Your letter will have the following parts. So you are being given. So what type of letter you are going to write? Is it a formal or an informal letter? Yes, it's a formal letter, right? Okay. So the format of a formal letter is what you are going to see in the next page. Okay. The next page will show you what the format of a formal letter is. So this is the format of a formal letter, all of you. You will find the address. Okay, that is the sender's address, sender address, and receiver address. So in between these addresses comes the date, that is date, month, year. Okay, this is date, month, and year. And then comes the addressee's address, that is from and to, from and to. Then comes the salutation. This is the salutation over here. Dear sir. So you are being asked to write a letter to a institution, right? To a company. You have to write a letter to a company. You don't know who's the boss of the company. You don't know at all. Okay, you just heard the name of the company. So you don't know if the boss is a boy or a girl, a woman or a man. Okay. So if you are having that confusion, you don't have to write, you don't have to guess and write it over there. You just have to write dear sir slash madam. Okay, when you write like that, it is as if you are saluting both the person. Okay, you don't know that. So it should be like this. Dear sir, madam. Okay, then the body of the letter. What you have to do over here? What is that you have to do? Huh? What is that you have to do? You have to write a letter asking to send a copy, right? Yes. What is the need? You have to write a letter to the publisher Mindframe Private Limited, requesting that a set be sent to you by value payable post. Okay. Value payable post. Body of the letter is, what will be the body of the letter? As I request you to send a set of the new revised volume of Isaac Asimov's short stories, which has been just released. Okay, so that is what the body of the letter. Okay, over there. Then again, the closing phrases and signature, yours sincerely. And remember, boys and girls, when you sign over here, it is a fictitious name that you have to write. Don't sign your name. Don't, when you write the address also, when you write the address, your address, it is not your house address that you have to write, that you have to keep it in your mind. Okay. Keep that thing every time in your mind. Okay. Because such letters will be there, formal letters only. Now, no, there will be no informal letters. Only formal letters from now on, from 10th standard till +2 that you finish. It will be formal letters, not informal, formal letters every time. So, if whatever letter you write, informal or formal, when you write it in your answer sheet, you are not supposed to keep your address over there. Okay, keep that in mind always. Okay, so that is then you have to write a fictitious address. You will have to write a fictitious address. If there is no address given in the question paper, you will have to find a fictitious. Fictitious. What is meant by fictitious? ഒരു അഡ്രസ് ഉണ്ടാക്കി എഴുതണം അഡ്രസ്. നിങ്ങളെ അഡ്രസ് അല്ല, വേറെ തന്നെ തെറ്റിച്ചൊരു അഡ്രസ് എഴുതണം. Okay, understood? Okay, so write a fictitious address. Make any address. If there is no name and address given in the question paper, make an address of your own. Okay, over here it is it is not being given. Only the name receiver's address only is given over here. Okay, so you're writing to the publisher, Mindframe Private Limited, 1632 Asaf Ali. It's there. The address is given over there, but your address it is not given. It is said your address. Okay, only your address it is said. But when you write, when they ask to write your address, you are not supposed to write your name. You're not supposed to write your name anywhere in your answer sheet except the space provided. Okay, fake address. Prepare a fake address and prepare a fake name, then write there and sign that fake name. Okay, that is what you have to do. If there is, if they mention any name, use that name. Okay, that is how. Keep that in mind always. Don't write numbers. When you write numbers, don't write numbers, but write fictitious numbers. Okay, write fictitious numbers like 98460XXXX. Okay, so like that and all, fictitious numbers. Dates, when you write dates, fake numbers. Fake numbers. When you write date, don't put real dates and all. Fictitious dates, fake dates, every time. Okay, if it is not mentioned in the question paper, that is what I'm saying. If it is not mentioned in the question paper, you can put a fake address, fake number, fake dates, full on fake, because you are not supposed to give out information about you, regarding you. Got it, all of you? Okay. But when you deal with yes, who's there?
So it's Sarina.
Okay.
Sir, if the name is not given means what will be our address?
If so for example, here they are asked, okay, if here they have asked to give your address over here, right? So what you will do is make a fake name like Charlie. Put Charlie over there. The name will be Charlie, and 12 bar 231, flat number 4. Any whatever it comes to your mind. Don't have to write Nandanam. You can write Port Blair over there, or else you can write New Delhi, or you can write New Jersey. Anywhere, anything you can write. Okay, don't write my name. Okay, idiot. I'll give you. Yeah, fake or fake, fake or fake, full fake. Okay, nothing. Understood? Huh? Okay. Any fake address, any fake name, if there is no mention of any name or anything like. So by heart this format, all of you, because this will be there for you till +2. Okay. So by heart this and make it part of your life, because not only for +2 also, after that also you will need this thing when you write a letter to a bank manager. If there is any Adirthi Prasnam, you will have to write a letter to the police station, the inspector of police, then uh, like chief minister. If you have to write for anything, you have to write to the MLA, MP, chief minister. This is the formal letter, request, and gathering information, whatever be the formal letter, the letter to the editor of a newspaper, then anywhere, a letter inquiring the facilities available in a tuition center, okay, health club, then anything, formal letters, wherever this formal letter is coming, this is the format of the formal letter that you have to follow. Okay, so this is how you write it. But here, there is one thing missing, and that is subject line. Okay, there is a subject line missing over here, but you have to insert that subject line. That is just after the addressee's address, the subject line comes over here. Okay, it comes over here, the subject line here. Subject, you over here, you have to write the subject. That is in between the salutation and the address of the receiver. Put a space over there, and after that give a space and then write it over there. Okay, that is how you insert a subject. So how will you write it? You will write it in a just like this. Okay, you have to write SUB, then like this in caps, then write the subject over here, or you are placing an order, right? So you are right now placing an order for books, placing an order for books. Okay, so just write like that. You write something over there. Okay, subject. That is what a person gets to know. Have you seen a email? Have you seen an email? Yeah, you have seen an email, right? So the email will be having a subject, and when you look into your Gmails, the first thing that you read is the subject of that letter. Okay, the letter that you receive, isn't it? The subject of the letter is what you read first, is it? Isn't it? So the same way, the person, after opening the letter, he will look into the subject column over there, and he will get a gist. അതായത് ഒരു 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 എന്താണ് പറയാ, ഒരു ക്രോഡീകരിച്ച ഒരു രൂപം കിട്ടും. For the person who is reading the letter, he will get a gist of the matter that is following it. Okay, ആ ഒരു the whole matter അതായത് ഇത്രയും ഭാഗം, ഇത്രയും മാറ്ററിന്റെ ഇത്രയും ഭാഗം എന്താണ് എന്നുള്ളതിന് അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് ഈസി ആയിട്ട് മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ് അദ്ദേഹം സബ്ജക്ട് എന്താണെന്ന് നമ്മൾ വെക്കുന്നത്. അണ്ടർസ്റ്റുഡ്? ടു മേക്ക് ടു ഷോ ദ പേഴ്സൺ ദ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് ഓഫ് ദ ലെറ്റർ. ഓക്കെ, ടു ഷോ ദ പേഴ്സൺ. യു കാൺട്ട് ഹിയർ മീ, ജാൻസി? Can't hear. Now also breaking. Okay, I think that is because you are having a weak connection. Okay, I will say it a little bit slow. Okay, so a subject. Why we need to keep a subject? See. Okay, why we need to keep a subject? In order to make the reader of the letter understand what the letter is all about. Okay, then after subject there is one more thing. If you are writing a complaint letter, right now there won't be any complaint letters for you, but in your furthermore, when you go to your +2 or +1, you will have to deal with complaint letters. Okay, complaints, letter of complaint, that is complaining about a defective product or a service, anything, complaints. So when you deal with a complaint letter, you will have to have another thing just below the subject line. That this is the subject line. Okay, placing an order for books. This is a subject line. But if it is a complaint letter, you will have another one more thing, and that is called reference. Refer, REF. Okay, this will be like you are asking the person reading the letter to refer something before going into the matter. Okay, subject is what the letter is about. Refer is something that a person wants, or the person who is writing the letter wants the reader of the letter to refer beforehand, before going into the matter of the inside the letter. So it might be, refer will be like a bill dated so and so. If it is a complaint about a defective product, bill dated, purchase bill. Okay, purchase bill dated some dates. Okay, purchase bill dated or purchase invoice. Nowadays, this is the word that we all use. Purchase invoice number. Purchase invoice number. If it is a product. Got it? All of you? Purchase invoice number. So this is how you write. These two things comes where? Just after. These two things comes just over here. Okay, just after the address of the receiver, before the salutation starts. Over here it comes. Got it, guys? Is that clear, all of you? The format of the letter. Okay, so when you write the letter, when you have to write that in your notebook. I want to see that in your notebook. I want you to write a letter. But while you write the letter, I want the subject line also over there. Okay, don't have to write the refer. It's not a complaint letter, so you don't have to write a reference over there, but you will have to write a subject line. Okay, so including the subject line, you will have to write the letter inside your notebook. Got it, guys? Let's move on. Okay, so I think we have finished that part, and then it is activity section. What is subject? You want to know what subject is? Subject is the gist of the matter inside a letter. For example, over here you are ordering a set of book. So placing an order is the subject. Placing an order for books is the subject. So the person know how letter subject that this is the way you have to write. I'm showing it. Can you see? Can you see it? Yes. That is how you have to write. SUB colon placing an order for books. Yes. Who is having a doubt? Is there anyone having doubt? No. No soul. No. Capital. SUB capital. Yes. That's correct. Colon. Put colon, Suraj. What is a colon? No ref. No Sienna. No. Don't have to write ref. That is only for complaint letters. Yes, colon. Yes. No, don't put space. Aksa. Please explain subject. Once more. Okay. Subject. You write subject. This is just look into the screen. Okay, look into the screen. This is the format of a letter. Okay, all of you. This is the format of the letter. This is the address part. That is your address will come over here. This one. Okay. This is the address part. Yeah. Where is this going? This is the address part. Don't write subject in full. No. Don't have to write subject in full. Never write subject and all in full. Okay. SUB, short form. Keep it short because, we are dealing with electronic age, right? We are here in electronic age right now. So we want to keep everything short. When I was studying, this was not the way. This was not at all the way. This was not the way to write a formal letter. Okay, the formal letters, the address bar and all will go to one side. We didn't have this intended towards the left hand side style. It was not there at all. Okay, if you keep from address over here, we have to keep to address over here. Like that and all we used to write. Okay, but right now what we are dealing is we are dealing with the electronic age, that is the age of emails and other type of thing messages. So now what happens is because of the computer age, the whole thing comes to this side itself, this margin. Okay, the left side of the margin, it is always towards the left side of the margin. Don't write to the right side. Okay, understood all of you? So this is the address. First, your address. That is the person who is sending the letter. Then comes the date. Then comes the address of the receiver. Over here, the receiver is Mindframe Publishers, right? The Mindframe Publishers address will come over here. Then comes the subject line. Okay, over here in between the address and the salutation. This is the salutation. Dear sir, this is the salutation. Okay. So in between the address of the receiver and the salutation comes the subject. The subject is the gist of the body of the letter. So over here we are placing an order for books. Okay. Placing an order for books. So this is the subject for your letter to the publisher. Etakana subject. Yes, etakana subject variant. Don't see this thing. I only gave you as an example. Don't look at this thing. This is the subject. Okay. It will come over here. Okay. Understood. Now, after that, dear sir, madam, because we don't know who the publisher is. If that publisher is a woman or a man, we don't know that. So we keep dear sir, madam. Yes, underline. No problem, Edwin. That is very good. If you want to underline, you can underline. Okay. So dear sir, madam. Okay. Understood? Then you do what you do is you write the body. Okay. Then you write the body of the letter. That is, I am so and so, writing from so and so, and I would like to place an order for the set of books, newly released books. Yes, yes, Sienna. Will come after the receiver's address. In between the receiver's address and the desert. Here it is not mentioned. That's why I am adding that. It is not mentioned over here right now. Okay. It is not mentioned over here. That's why it's an insert. Okay. It is not mentioned over here. That is why I am inserting it right now. They have made a mistake over here because they didn't put the subject over there. But in the formal letter, there should be a subject. Yes, fake sign, fake a name, fake address, everything fake. Okay, fakey, fakey. So after this, the salutation again, the closing phrase and signature. Yours sincerely, signature. Got it? Then after the signature, you don't have to write your address again. Don't write the address again. If there is any designation, that you can. Okay. So this is the format of a formal letter. Only thing that is missing from this format is the subject line that you have to add over. Got it? All of you? Clear? If there is any doubt, you can ask. I'll clear it. I don't mind. In exam, yeah, we'll ask. There will be 10th standard, sure, it will be there. 11th, sure, will be there. All clear? Okay. Okay, then. So let's move on to the next part. That is the next lesson. That is prose. The road not taken by Robert Frost. 10. What is 10? I didn't understand. What is 10? Someone said 10. Okay. No issues, no issues, no issues, no issues. So we are going into road not taken. Okay. So this is by a very famous poet, very famous poet who lived in England in 1912 to 1915. Okay. There is making choices. We all find it difficult to make choices in our lives. Okay. We will all face a situation like when you finish your 10th standard, when you finish your plus 2, you will have a choice. Some of you will go for science stream. Want to stop presenting? Okay. Commerce stream. Some of you will go to commerce stream. Some of you will go to food stream. Some of you will go for Robert. No, 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 not Robert. It is Robert. Robert. Robert, not Robert. Computer science. Some of you will go for food stream. Some of you is an American boy. Yes, he lived in England from 1912 to 1915. Okay. So you will have a lot of opportunities in front of you. You'll have several opportunities in front of you, and you will be given a choice to select select something. So you will be in two minds, right? അതിന് പോണോ ഇതിന് പോണോ അവിടെ പോണോ ഇവിടെ പോണോ. And there is a my goodness me, who is this Abin Varghese? Why is he coming right now? Told you guys, right? Ah, there is a word for such a situation. Okay, and that word is procrastination. Okay, didn't get it right. Okay, I'll type. Don't worry. I'll send out a message so that you can understand. Procrastination. Okay, it's a word. The word which gives us that the meaning of the word is to be or not to be. Okay, to do or take or not to take. Procrastination. That is what it is. Procrastination. Okay, that is the word. Procrastination. And this word was coined by none other than William Shakespeare. Okay, procrastination. And William Shakespeare, in his famous drama Hamlet, gave such a situation to Hamlet to kill his stepfather or not. Okay, he was standing, Hamlet is standing in the room of his stepfather, holding one big knife. He is ready to stab at the back of his father, stepfather. And then, the moment when he's going to stab the stepfather, he thinks, should I kill him or should I not? He has a doubt. Okay, he has a doubt in his mind. Hamlet, Shakespeare's greatest dramas, Hamlet, has this situation. Okay, has a situation, such a situation. It's a very, very complicated story. Should or should not? Should I or should not? Should I not? To be or not to be? To take or not to take? Should I take engineering or should I take doctor? Should I be a doctor or should I be an engineer? Okay, so these things, like such a situation, is called procrastination, where you are in two minds, where you are left with two minds to do or not to do. Okay, that is called procrastination. Everyone has such situations in our lives, right? When you are inside an ice cream shop, several flavors, Baskin Robbins, 32 flavors in front of you. For example, here, fruit platter. One is watermelon, the other is mango. Which one should I eat? Mango or watermelon? Oh, situation created by my Chechi over here. Chechi created three situations. Chechi created three situations. See? Anna, watermelon or mango. So I haven't eaten it. I am procrastinating right now. To eat or not to eat. Procrastination situations. Chechi created four options. Should I drink or should I eat? So procrastinating. So now I'm not eating. I'm procrastinating. I'm procrastinating about eating what in my life. Got it? Each and everyone's situation will have such a situation. So Robert Frost tells us about such a situation that happened in his life. Okay, so this poem is a recollection of an event in the poet's life. In fact, it's a very good, a very interesting poem. Very one of the famous poems of Robert Frost. Okay, people have come out with several meanings. They have inferred many type of meanings after reading this. But what the writer, when the poet wrote it, he might have something in his mind. He might have something in his mind. We don't know that because there are several infers, there are several meanings that has come out in after writing this poem. Okay, Still now, people are researching on this poem, this single poem. And this single poem is a poem that has only 4 stanzas. And this small poem has got an in-depth meaning in it. Okay, because in-depth meaning, several meanings. When you read it once or twice or thrice, if you keep on reading it and reading it and reading it, once you, if you read it, you will get a meaning. Second time you read it, you will get another meaning. When you read it the third time, you will get more meanings coming out from this poem. Okay, so ഭയങ്കരം എന്താണ് പറയുക ഡെപ്ത് ഉള്ള ഒരു പോയമാണ്. It's a very meaningful poem. Okay, it's a very meaningful poem, and I'll read it once. Just listen to this. Okay, 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood and looked down one as far as I could, where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, cause it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden back. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So this is The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. So we'll go through stanza by stanza, word by word, letter by letter, line by line. Okay, 2 roads, and it's already 2:22. By 2:25, I'll stop. Okay, so I'll keep the discussions and describing for the next day. That is tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the last class. The Sunday I won't be taking class. Okay? Sunday holiday, all of you. Got it? So tomorrow when you come, what you have to do is present. What present? Oh, you sorry. Tomorrow I will present. Don't worry. Today you just listen to me reading it. Okay. Saturday no holiday. Tomorrow I will present, and then what you have to do is, guys, I'll call out a roll number, not a roll number. I'll call out one person, and they have to tell me what they understood by reading that poem. Okay. So we'll get different ideas from different people. Oh, okay. So yeah, it is. I have also seen it. Nice movie. And അത് വേണം അത് വേണം അത് വേണം അത് വേണം അത് വേണം. Okay. So we will have a small discussion session on this poem. What you understood. Okay. Don't go and search the net. What you understood by, no problem if it is wrong, if you have found something, because I'm telling you, what people infer from reading this poem is up to them. Each and every person is having a individual idea. Okay, so ideas will always change. Yeah, try the best. Okay, try your level best. Okay, try your level best, and tell me. You can tell me in any language. Don't have to tell me in English itself. Okay. Yeah, there is class. There is class tomorrow, same time. Okay, no roll number. I'll call out a name. Okay, whatever name comes in front of my eyes, I'll call out that name. Okay. So whatever you understand after reading that poem, you just tell me that. Got it? Okay, so let's stop over here. And it's time for me to procrastinate upon this and procrastinate what to do with this. Okay. Okay, so you go and procrastinate. Huh? You never forget things, right, guys? Yeah. Okay, you want me to sing a song? Okay, I'll sing. That is what, because fruits and vegetables doesn't get any koti ourselves. Okay. Biscuit and all we get. Okay. 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 This is a famous song by Kishore Kumar. Oh no, Dil To Pagal Hai. You want Dil To Pagal Hai, right? Eh? Ah, okay. Don't record, guys. Please. I'm already recording. I will cut it. Don't worry. Which textbook? It is Beehive. Beehive. Unit 1. And in the unit 1, it is two things are there. That is, one is the fun they had, and the second one is road not taken. Okay. That is the poem that you have to read. Got it? So let me take the words. I don't know full words and all. Dil to pagal hai, dil deewana hai. हाँ ये पागल है, यहाँ दीवाना है. सारी सारी रात जगाता है यही. I think so, na? Like that and all, right? Is it any different? Like, is there anything
Nice
different?
to.
Huh? Okay, let's see. Let me find the lyrics. I need the lyrics of Dil To Pagal Hai. Dil To Pagal Hai song lyrics. Okay, let me find it. My God, this is in Hindi. Dil to pagal hai, dil deewana hai. दिल तो पागल है, दिल दीवाना है. पहली
Nice song.
पहली बार मिलाता है यही, सीने में फिर आग जलाता है.
Nice song.
धीरे धीरे प्यार सिखाता है यही, हंसाता है यही, यही रुलाता है. दिल तो पागल है, दिल दीवाना है. दिल तो पागल है, दिल दीवाना है. Got it? Okay? Okay, thank you very much. Bye, guys. Have a nice day, all of you. Okay. And I think 3 o'clock there is history lessons for you, right? So go and study nicely. Thank you very much for staying back and
Thank
listening
you,
to
sir.
my class.
Thank you, sir.
Have a nice day. Okay, bye. Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Thank you, Akhil.
Thank you, sir.
പാട്ടായിരുന്നേ.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye. Bye. Take
Thank you,
care. Bye. Take care, all of you. Bye.